Yo, 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 yo. We back with another episode, the No Pressure Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Miles. Always here with my brother, Teej Fiasco. Yeah, man, got a special guest. So I definitely want to get right into it. But before we start, I do want to just shed a little light on um, one of the one of the premier players in college football last year, Kyron Lacy. He passed away earlier today. Um, I mean, if you guys don't know, he was a wide receiver at LSU. Definitely a really, really good player, electrifying, a guy who could, take it to the house at any moment. He passed away earlier today. So, um, I mean, we wanted to shed a little light on that. We're coaches here on the pod, and I do want to just let everybody know, especially for the coaches out here, just to make sure you're checking in on your guys, checking in on their mental state. Um, I know coaching is important, but our role is bigger than wins and losses. And it just kind of hit home for me because, as a coach, just see a player pass away, that's a really big deal. So if you're a coach, if you're coaching out there, it doesn't matter the level. Middle school, high school, rec league, college, NBA, whatever the case may be, man. Just checking on your guys, checking on their mental state. To show them love, because like I said, at the end of the day, it's bigger. It's bigger than wins and losses. It's bigger than a game. It's bigger than the sport that you coach. So, RIP, Kyron Lacy. Like I said, it would have probably been a first round pick this year in the upcoming draft. So, RIP, man, and praying for his friends, his family, his loved ones. Definitely wanted to just, talk about that before we get started.
Thank you for that, Coach. Definitely rest in peace to Kyron Lacy, and condolences to his family, friends, and loved ones as well. Like you said, bro, mental health matters. Just check in with your guys, check in with your family, friends, and loved ones, so make sure everybody good mentally. And
So,
as y'all can see here, well, for those that are watching, as y'all can see here, we got a very special guest here, man. I know this episode means a lot to me. I know it means a lot to Coach. It was actually his idea to have this guy on. Who we have here is the last 1,000-point scorer in Warren County basketball. One of the best to come out of Warren County in recent years. All district, all conference, numbers through the roof, which you'll get into later. A college athlete, a student athlete first, Dean's List at Warren County High School, upcoming graduate. And without further ado, it is an honor and a privilege to introduce my brother-in-law, my brother, a GOAT, a legend, Warren County's finest, Drew Smith, man. Welcome to the show, my dog.
appreciate y'all. Yeah, man. I don't know. I like to be humble, so you know me. I appreciate the love though. This is all work.
Oh yeah, the people gonna find out who you are. Yeah, for those that don't know, Drew is
Nah, for
very
sure.
silent killer, but
Yeah.
we'll brag about him, and hopefully he'll just he'll chime in too, man. But before we get into you a little bit, man, we want to just get your opinion, man. What you think about the podcast so far?
Nah, I think it's dope. Y'all should definitely keep doing that. I love y'all chemistry on the podcast for sure. I tapped in probably first three. I ain't tapped into the rest yet, but for sure gonna tap in. Y'all definitely
That's
got good
love.
chemistry. Yeah.
That's love. That's love. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, for
Appreciate the
sure.
support.
Yes, sir.
Definitely, man. Well, you like Coach said, man, we're gonna go ahead and dive right into it, man. So, we've talked about you in previous episodes, but for those who don't know, like I said, he has a very storied career within basketball from the time he was little to where he's at now. So, man, with that being said, when is that time frame that you say that you fell in love with basketball?
I would say I fell in love with basketball because like when I first started saying like six, 7, 8, like I was trash. Like I remember my first time going to like Duke camp, I was horrible. Like I cried every night because I wasn't as good as the rest of the players. Like I was one of the worst ones. And my cousin was doing straight. He went with me. My cousin was doing straight. So like I'm like, dang, I'm doing something wrong. So like after that, I just fell in love with ball, watched it every day, push ups, used to dribble all the time. even without a hoop, I'm dribbling all the time. Yeah, just that's what fueled the work. Really being trash, defeat. Really say that.
So you mentioned the Duke camps with your cousin, and you said you felt like you were trash. So like, walk us through like I guess like a one of your more memorable days, whether it's good or bad, or like when you like you felt like you were trash. Like was it a scrimmage? Was it a drill that y'all was doing? Like what's something that happened?
It'll be like it would be like the scrimmages. So like I would be OD losing the ball, or like my shot, I wouldn't be scoring like everybody else. They'd be like, pass the ball, you know? It'd be like real harsh, like the team I was playing with, like my teammates would be real harsh on me in a way. You
Gotcha.
feel me? I ain't wanna be that. I ain't wanna be, you know, I ain't wanna be trash.
Yeah,
I ain't wanna be that guy on the team that's the worst one, the worst link, you know? I ain't wanna be
yeah.
that guy.
But
So
I think the thing about that too, you use that to fuel you. That you use that to get better.
For
A lot
sure.
of times, guys they in that situation and they're defeated. They can't
Yeah.
shape back. They can't go through the process of getting better. They can't go through the process of improving your game. So, I mean, for you to be able to go from that, to the player that you ultimately became, I mean, that's big time. So, yeah, definitely shout out to you.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate that. You definitely gotta have it in you. Definitely gotta have that dog in you, for sure.
yeah, man, it sounded like you faced some. You probably didn't even know what adversity was at the time, but you faced some early adversity, and like Coach said, you overcame it to ultimately get to the point to where you at. Especially in this era, I feel like that we're in. Like it may not be as when I say quitting, like it's pretty magnified. Like with this NIL situation, like kid don't like that situation, they could just kind of leave. Or even at the high school level, I feel like kids don't really love basketball that much. They're more skilled, but as far as like a passion for it, I feel like that's slowly starting to dwindle out these days, especially with your generation and younger. So for you to say like you grew up watching basketball every day, dribbling without a hoop, like doing those little things, I think that's what kind of helped you stand out in the long run. So yeah.
For
Um,
sure.
Now we're going, just fast forward. So you say you fell in love pretty much around those Duke camps, which I know was your middle school years. And upon entering Warren County your freshman year, you were actually the only freshman to make your varsity basketball team. Is that right?
Facts. Yeah.
So
He
walk us through
told
that.
me go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. He told you. Go ahead.
Nah, he told me like I could play JV and actually like play like I was saying, but I thought that being on varsity, being with the top dogs in the team, being with the top talent in the school, I mean, that would really like help my development in the long run. Like, you know, just being with better athletes in general, opposed from the playing time I was basically just it was basically just like reps. It was a choice between reps or learning from better talent and still getting like practice reps. So I wouldn't be getting as many game reps, but I'm getting practice reps and playing with better talent. I'm taking that every time. And the fact that we had good talent, I knew we was gonna be like a playoff team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I knew
dive
we was
into that
gonna make a
team, man.
run that year.
Tell us a little bit about that team. Who was on that team? Tell us about the practices. Like for you to have the mindset of because who don't want to play? So you're saying I'm gonna sacrifice playing time because I want to become better. I want to be challenged. So walk us through your mindset. Walk us through that team. Who was on that team? And some of the things that you were seeing on a day-to-day basis.
Nah, for sure. That team was I ain't gonna lie, that team was guard heavy that year. We had a lot of guards. We had we had a lot of seniors too. We had a lot of seniors that year. Um, we had decent big play. Well, I ain't even gonna say decent. We had good big play actually, because we had Nate and Big Trey, with Coach Trey. Um, and what was I gonna say after that? I don't know. I just knew that team was deep. That was a deep team that year. We had guards Trey Jones, Thomas Miles, Savion Austin. They all been doing numbers. Cornell, tough. And we had good talent.
So let me
some of
ask you
the?
this:
Yeah, go ahead.
when when you when you were faced with that decision on playing varsity versus playing JV, did you understand like the magnitude of the decision, or it's just something that you just kind of went into it blind, or like did you understand like how that was going to work for your future?
Honestly, nah, not really. I just wanted to, I'm a freshman playing on varsity. Like this like kid's dream at the time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? I'm gonna take that choice every time. Like that's a no brainer for me. And I love ball, so like, come on. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. I like that. I like that. It's cool that you say that because, I mean, to your point, I feel like that's everybody's dream. Like,
Yeah,
especially you coming straight out of middle school, you a
facts.
ninth grader, like
Like,
you making a varsity. That's like a big deal. Like
yeah, I
that's
felt like
big
the guy at the
news.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's cool. That's cool. So, um, yeah, just to, I guess to continue that conversation. Um, if I guess you already answered the question, but I guess I just want to get a little clarity. So for the next guy who is in that situation where they're really good coming out of eighth grade, they get to their freshman year and they have that choice. Your advice to them would be to go ahead, make that leap to the varsity level, or to go ahead and get the game reps at JV.
I would say I would say go ahead and make that leap because you're practicing with better talent. So just think about the development you getting. Like you're gonna develop on JV, but like you're playing the same age group. It's basically like playing AAU. You playing up. You're gonna develop faster than the guys your age. Same concept. Yeah.
Facts, facts.
And it's ironically this past season, I had a freshman guard who eventually became a starter, and he made all conference. Khalil Townsend, we call him Kalo, and God willing, he stays healthy. I feel like he'll be the next one to follow in your footsteps, Drew, and being 1,000-point scorer at the high school.
Sure.
Because I know you said you sacrificed playing time. He's one that was a starting point guard, and like you say, he's playing up against guards that are 2-3 years older than him. So hopefully,
Yeah.
it's helping him out in the long run from an IQ standpoint, from a skill standpoint, and that it's a challenge for anybody. Like just middle school pace, going from an eighth grade middle school pace to a varsity pace. That's you skipping
Yeah.
JV, so it's like you taking a big leap. So, and one of the things that he struggled with in playing early in the season was turnovers, but as the season progressed, he got more comfortable, and I'm excited to see him going forward. I know the county is as well.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Kalo tough. Shout out Kalo.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Shout out
Ken,
Kalo.
man. So from your freshman year, like I said, you said y'all had a successful year. Y'all had a state playoff run. You said y'all had a lot of seniors. We're gonna fast forward to your junior year. Junior year didn't really go how you wanted it to go. Having one win. So get through your junior year. Preparing for your senior year, you actually had a vision of starting an AAU program based out of your hometown, which is Warrenton, North Carolina. So walk us through that vision. For those who don't know, Drew was the founder of the NC Raptors, a local AU organization here in the area. So yeah, man, walk us through your vision of what came about how did you come up with the idea of I want to start an AU program and getting right to it.
So basically, how it started was in the past I played for like a few AAU teams, and like the prices was crazy for like the tournaments we was going to. Like I feel like if you gonna pay crazy prices, you got to be playing great tournaments like with great talent. You know what I'm saying? Like we not getting no exposure, but we paying like $500 for the AAU season. We not really getting no exposure. We just reps. You know what I'm saying? So I was just trying to think of a way where I could have me and a few of my friends get together and we could maybe try to get some exposure at a cheaper price, and not far, right in the city. We ain't got to commute far at all. And we could all be together. We could all play together for that upcoming season. That's basically my thought process behind it. I just know we needed to stay together that summer.
And you mentioned staying together because I believe your junior team, y'all graduated maybe one or two seniors, and you actually went and, like you said, you had a thought of keeping your heavy junior class together to help prepare for your senior year because you're graduating class. I think you were one of 7 seniors.
Yeah, a lot of them, cause it was just Jawan that played, Jawan and Josh. Cause the other Dev, Rocky, and who else was it? Lee. They played football, so I was trying to get them to play, but I couldn't get them to play because summer football.
Yeah, you had
I was
Jawan,
trying to get the whole
Josh,
team.
Jay
Yeah,
Gould, Pooty, yourself, Justin Newball. You did good, bro. And I mean, we'll get into
yeah.
senior year, but you did good. I think that summer helped out a lot, but we'll get into that later on. Coach, you were about to say something?
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I feel like that's some forward thinking. I mean, damn near a visionary, for you to be able to do
No cap.
that at an age like that. Um, you don't you a humble dude. We'll get into that later, but I mean, I definitely want to give you your praise and your flowers for even having that thought process. I know when I was in high school, I wasn't thinking about starting my own AAU team or just having that thought process of, dang, if I can get all our guys to stay together and we play AAU, that can build chemistry for not only get exposure, not only get recruitment, but also get us prepared for the upcoming senior year where you got to go crazy in order to, get where you're trying to go, which is, playing at the next level. So, for you to have that vision and, you being a forward thinker like that, I think that's big time for sure.
Appreciate that, Coach. And also another thing I want to add to that, you gotta understand, like, Warrington, like, it's nothing to do. So, like, I knew, like, a lot of those guys weren't really gonna be playing as much if we didn't have a team or wasn't practicing. You know what I'm saying? They weren't really gonna be dribbling the ball like that. You feel me? They weren't really gonna be in the gym like that.
Mm-hmm.
We probably found something else to do.
Yeah,
But
yeah. And like Miles said, man, a lot of forward thinking for real, because I think that's very selfless. Like you weren't doing it for you. You immediately said, like, it was an opportunity for my guys, my teammates to play together. And again, that could be, no one's thinking like that. Most people individually, they spend their summer, they get in the gym, they working on their own game. They may play AAU, but they just thinking about them improving by themselves. But you were thinking as a team, having, I guess, coming off a 1-win season and wanting to further your basketball career, understanding that coming from Warrington, that's probably something you can't do by yourself. Like, you're going to need some wins in order to get a little bit of attention.
Exactly.
So, I mean, yeah, bro, that vision, man, Miles giving you the flowers, shit, I want to thank you, because without that, I don't think I would have found my passion, which is coaching, because you and your mother leaned on Miles and y'all asked us to coach. Without hesitation, we said yes. And, I mean, look at where we're both at now. But without your vision and your mother's vision, we probably wouldn't be in the positions that maybe Miles, because Miles ultimately got the opportunity to, coach at Brevard at his alma mater based on what he did there so maybe Miles, but for us to even get the opportunity to coach together, which is I'm grateful for that opportunity. So, hey, kudos to you, my boy. Shout out to you and your vision for allowing that to happen. And like I said, man, just look at where that's gotten us. I just that coaching season, that NC Raptors team, I always got a special place in my heart. That's something that Miles always says as well. And yeah, bro, just thank you. Shout out to you for that.
Man, thank y'all boys for taking that for taking that job or taking that on. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all ain't really had to do that. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. It was an honor to do it, especially coaching that group, man. That's a special group. One of my all-time favorite teams.
Hey, man. So
matter of fact, get into that. My bad.
No, go ahead, Coach. Get into what? Go ahead.
Get into just that whole experience.
That summer.
Your last summer of AAU. Just kind of dive into that experience of playing with your boys, having us coach you, And yeah, just kind of elaborate on that last AAU season.
I guess it felt a little more special because it was with like a lot of, because you go to other AAU teams and you don't know all them guys like that. Like
Yeah.
you got to meet them, get to know them and stuff like that. It was a little different, a little more special with people I already knew. Like it made it that much more fun, if that makes sense. Yeah, so like every day when we used to go to practice, like I wanted to do that. I felt like everybody else wanted to do that. Like the energy in the gym never lacked. Like even though the gym was hot, gym was old, leaning rims. Yeah, I feel like everybody wanted to be there. You know what I'm saying?
For
I
real,
don't
man.
know.
Do you
It was
remember?
just a great summer.
Do you remember our first win?
First
don't
win
You don't
was
remember.
first win was game winner, wasn't it?
The game winner. Yeah, the game winner, bro. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we was in Rock Hill, right?
I don't know if we was
Yeah,
here. We might have been. I'm not sure, but I remember
that one Rock Hill.
Juan drove. I thought Juan was about to lay that Tony up, but he kicked it out to you. Tracy left
Yeah,
with you. Yeah,
nah, I remember that. Yeah,
yeah.
we went on a little streak after that, didn't we?
Yeah, we won our second game that day. I think we went 2-1 on the weekend, but we started the weekend 2-0, bro. But yeah, man, that was a big moment, bro. That was a big moment for sure.
Yeah.
Coach, you remember that?
Yeah, I remember everything. We was at Clover High School. Yeah, you see, I don't even remember the details, man. Y'all don't
Clover
remember
High
the
School.
details. We was in Clover High School.
What
We
have on?
Game winning into overtime.
What we have
We
on?
had on Bray ones.
I thought it was the cement.
Was
No,
it was the Bray ones.
It was the Brevard ones, but oh yeah, it was the red polo, the Tiger Woods Championship Sunday, red shirt, black pants with the Brevard ones. You right?
Yeah,
You right?
facts.
You right?
Facts. I do too. I want to shout out my boy Jeremiah too. He was on that AAU team.
Thanks.
It's funny. I talked to him last week, bro. He's trying to get a hoop session going, man. We got to meet him in Raleigh one day, man. Jeremiah, if you listening, we gonna come to Raleigh, man, take over your city.
He gotta come to the county, man.
We gotta come to he gotta come to the county, man.
Jeremiah, man, he gotta see what these county runs. I know you listening, so
yeah.
See what these county runs.
So yeah, make sure you tap in.
Yeah, I got a little.
But yeah, he show love, man. Jeremiah show love every time. Every time I talk to him, he always asks about you, Coach and Drew. So yeah, shout out my boy Jeremiah.
Yes, sir. Hey, before we move on from AAU, tell the folks why NC Raptors? Because you can pick any name you want. Why NC Raptors?
I was talking to my mom, and she was like, we should pick a generic name and like just put the state in front of it, because like it should be a name where what's it called, copyright. She was worried about the copyright rules. Mm-hmm. So we just picked a generic name, stuck NC in front of it, just to make it our state. It wasn't too much thought behind it.
Got you.
Yeah.
That's bad, man. All right, so have a good summer of AAU. Got a little bit more exposure. Now it's going a perfect transition into your senior year. So upon entering your senior year, of course, no workouts going on. I didn't get the coaching opportunity. Miles and I didn't get the coaching opportunity until August, like right before school started. So no true off season. So what are some of the thoughts going into your senior year?
I ain't gonna lie. Once y'all said y'all was gonna go, once TJ said he was gonna go after the job, I knew he was gonna get it. I ain't gonna lie, cause like, we was coming off the summer with AAU, so you was already coaching most of the guys, so it made sense for them to choose you. So I knew once you got the job that we was gonna be straight then. Once I got the job, yeah.
Damn, that's love, bro. Because Miles, I want your insight too, because from my perspective, I'm thinking like, man, I don't know what the hell I done got myself into, but based on
Yeah.
my interview process, not even just y'all, but like just my interview, I just didn't know what to expect. You know, I remember getting an opportunity and being presented with the 2 basketballs. That was it. And just knowing that I knew that I wanted you as well as the AU guys, because again, having built that relationship from AU, like most of y'all being seniors, man, like I want these guys to have an experience. So I put the pressure on myself, and I'm pretty sure, but I'm gonna let Coach speak on that in a minute. But the pressure was on us in order for y'all to have a successful season. I don't know, because just like during AAU, like did we win some tournaments? Yeah. Did we win as much as we wanted to? No. But we always saw something in y'all, and I feel like we always competed. Like we competed so much that during that summer, to where it just
Yeah.
I seen that this can be a really good group. So, Coach, what was your mindset going into that senior year? Shit, like here we are, 25-year-olds coaching a varsity basketball program.
Man, I mean, it was super cool. Like it was a storybook in my eyes. Like for us to be able to get that job. I mean, I feel like to Drew's point, it made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It made a lot of sense for us to go ahead and fulfill the role. The guys already knew us; they knew what to expect. I feel like we did a good job of setting the tone for how everything was going to go. And I mean, now hindsight 2020, like now that I'm older and we got a little more experience. I just felt like it was just a storybook. We was built for it. We were supposed to be in those positions. We were supposed to have the impact that we did. And ultimately, I mean, that season went exactly like it was written. It was written like it was supposed to go exactly how it was supposed to go. I mean, we'll get into the details of the season, but I mean, that ended up being a really good senior year for TJ, Drew, the whole team, the whole program, and I felt like that was just setting the tone for years to come. So, just my thoughts on it, man. At the time, like trying to get the jobs, going through the interview process, being first time teachers, all that was, it was a challenge. But looking back on it now, like it happened exactly how it was supposed to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Drew, you remember your first game senior year?
First game senior year was you putting me on the spot.
Come on,
First
man.
game
I mean,
senior
it's
year
different
was
for me, but
Franklinton
yep.
at Franklinton.
Yep.
Well, we lost by what, 3? It was what we lose by?
Lost in overtime. We lost in overtime.
Yeah, it was overtime. It was a
We
close
lost in
game.
overtime.
We lost in
Yep.
overtime. Yeah.
Yep.
We was definitely supposed to win that game though.
Definitely. Yeah, that was crazy. But again, I guess sometimes, God says it's too good to be true. I just felt like everything was going too well that game. I just remember everybody touched the court trying to figure out the rotation, but we ultimately, losing that game in overtime. And yeah, bro, I don't know. It was a good opportunity for myself, and like just seeing what y'all was capable of, and that eventually led to we lost our net. Go ahead.
That was a great game for us to like measure ourselves. Like, you know what I'm saying? First game of the season versus what they had 3A school, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great measure stick for the year. I ain't gonna lie. The fact that we almost beat them too says a lot.
Mm-hmm. We had a very tough non-conference schedule that year. Because I think after Franklinton, I think the next game was Vance County. Maybe not Vance. It might have been Vance. I'm not sure, but I know we got smacked. We lost to Vance County. We lost to Northwest. And then the whole famous beat the street game. We facing Kip. I think we were on in the combined seasons, we're on a 19 game. They were on a 19 game losing streak. We started the season off 0-3, coming off back-to-back ass whoopers. I'm talking about 30-plus point losses. We hosting Kip at the crib. I'm gonna paint the picture for everybody that Drew shared a moment though. We it's a back and forth contest. I just remember pregame, Jay Gould wrote like beat the streak on the board. I don't know what was going on through my boy head that day, man. But Drew, walk us through those final moments of that game. I don't remember the exact score, but I believe it was a tie game. probably about 7 seconds to go on the clock. They had just scored to tie it up. And the clock had kept running. I called timeout, so they reviewing it. They had some time back on the clock. I'm saying reviewing it like they had replay review, but the referee knew I was calling timeout. They had some time back on the clock, and I'm gonna go ahead and let my boy Drew tell the rest of the story.
All right, so basically coming out of timeout, I knew once I seen they was matched up, I'm like, all right, I gotta get the ball real fast. So I start at half, break off, grab the ball. And once I grabbed the ball, I seen like the dude was trailing me. Like, why are you trailing me? So I just what I do? I took a push dribble, and then one dude tried to cut me off. So I in and out him. Once I in and out him, I had free lane. It was like one more person at the rim. I was thinking about passing it, but I'm like, I know he gonna jump, so I just went for the contact, and I did a little maneuver, and just threw it up. It went in, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
And they rushed the court, bro. I'm talking about, bro. It was hurt in there, bro.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a great night. They wanted to fight and everything, bro. That was great.
They wanted to fight.
Yeah,
I mean, saying we cheated. And again, so I'm happy it's my first win, but I'm happy for them because it's their first time winning in like 19 games. It's at the crib. And, the announcer going crazy, crowd rushed the court. But like, and then again, like this being my brother, seeing him, because like I said, he sprinted from half, came across. So the inbound was coming, the inbound was coming from the right side of the basket. So he's coming across, gets the pass to his right side, ins and out with his right hand. I don't know why they're not cutting off his right.
Yeah.
Ins and out at half court, free reign to the back. To me, it should have been an and one. To me, he got fouled. But like you said, he clutched it, made it. And then like as time expired, man, crowd just going crazy. Man, we in the locker room turned. They saying beat the street. Just it was a movie, bro. It was a movie, man.
They ended up calling that game a fluke, and we played them again in the tournament.
Yeah, the Christmas tournament. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Beat them again.
Yeah, that's legendary, man. That's legendary. TJ, you just mentioned like seeing your brother, seeing your brother have that moment. Just kind of talk to the viewers just about just y'all relationship, and I guess on the outside looking in, it's like y'all family, but y'all coaches at the same. Or you're a player, you're a coach, so it's like y'all might butt heads a little bit, or y'all might have a little friction. Just kind of elaborate on the relationship y'all got from a player-coach standpoint, but also like a brother-to-brother standpoint.
Bro, I'll start if you don't mind, Drew. But believe it or not, from a whole player-coach standpoint, we never butted heads. And it's funny, like I think I alluded to her in the early episode when me and my wife, when we first moved down, we stayed with her parents. Drew was there, of course. So Drew was the player that I lived with them. So it was in the same household as his coach. So after every practice, after every game, and those that know me, I talk a lot. So, and I'm very expressive, and I appointed Drew to be the captain, so I held him to a different standard than everybody else. But what I mean by that is like those who have been captains for my program, they understand that what comes with that. Like if the team ain't doing right, I'm coming to you first. If something's going wrong, I'm blaming like this is your team, this is your group, because that's how it goes with leadership. Coach, if as a head coach, if we lose, the fans ain't gonna talk about the players, they're gonna talk about the coaching, and then it may trickle down from that point. But we never fell out, man. Like that's one thing I think that even seeing Drew, I think I first met him that 7th grade, 8th grade year where he, like I said, was just real small and really hit a growth spurt yet. Us playing one-on-one in the backyard, like him never quitting. Like I always wanted to keep playing, just competitive as hell. Like I can relate to that. Like that's being cut from the same cloth. So of course, me knowing I was gonna be around, and us both having a liking of basketball, but just him being competitive from the get-go, I just knew it wasn't gonna be no issues. So seeing his growth and development, then having the opportunity to coach him was just like an honor and a blessing. Like damn, bro, because I care about his success. I'm not gonna say more than he does, but just as much as he does. And he's willing to do what I say while also providing input and being accepting criticism, accepting challenges, understanding what it takes to win, understanding that he's going to have to get out of his comfort zone to win. So it made this shit easy to me, bro. Like it was smooth, and like I said, we never fell out. Like, you know, he provided his input. I would say what I had to say. He never questioned anything I did. Shit was just real seamless, real easy, man. So it was a joy for me. Like it was an honor. What you think, Drew?
The fact that I knew you for a long time before you coached me. Like I got to know you personally. Like you're a great dude. I knew that you were trying to better me, even like when you was giving me criticism or like whenever you was telling me to do something better or something like that. I knew you was trying to give me good advice or like trying to build on my success or trying to help me be successful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just the fact I knew you personally. I knew you was a great dude long before you started coaching me.
Facts.
That's big time. That's big time.
Only time we ever fell out, not even fell out, but our one-on-ones, especially lately, because it's a little different these days. But our one-on-ones used to we not get intense, but like we just two competitors, two alphas trying to just hoop, compete. You know, we had many late nights in the gym where we would work out and we playing ones. You know, our little first to five, championship game to 7, shit like that, man. So just doing those little things and getting to the point now to where like shit like the games now I ain't gonna cap. You be busting my ass, but I'm trying to. I
ain't even like that.
I can't go out. Nah, that first time it was like maybe last year when you came home, and because you know, Miles, I'm playing with the high school guys more often than not, bro. So you goddamn just quicker, faster, strong as fuck. I mean, strong as hell, man. I'm just like, I got a lot to hell back in, bro. Because him and Tom, bro, they goddamn they get me back into that mode of I love the summer shit, bro, because they always come back and they get me back in that mode of like, all right, now these guys that I want to be playing against. You know, I enjoy playing against my guys, but it's still that level of IQ and difference and strength and everything. But yeah, Coach, that was a good ass question, Coach.
Yeah. Facts. No, I appreciate y'all providing that insight. I feel like I kind of strayed off topic, but you know, let's keep talking about that senior year. Let's get into the Christmas tournament. You know, I know y'all had a really good Christmas tournament.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of first off, let's talk about or let's just go game by game. Let's go by game. 3 games, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
let's go game by
game. We started off 0-3. We beat Kip. We're 1-3, and then we actually lose 3 more games. So going into the Christmas tournament, we're 1-6. Drew, you want to paint that story about the first? Actually, before you do that, we get to the Christmas tournament, first game. Like I'm not going, but we get to the first game. Myself and Coach Fuller, which was the assistant coach at the time, he still is right now, but he was the assistant coach. He and I walk into the gym first. Now I've heard again. I'm not from here. I don't know nothing about this Christmas tournament, but I hear it's a big deal. But I'm underestimating it. When me and Coach Fuller walked into the gym, the guys were behind us. When I tell y'all it was the most packed I have ever seen a gym, I've ever seen a gym, especially since I had been there. It was flooded in there, standing room only, hot as hell. I looked at Coach Fuller. I said, we can't let them in here. We can't let them in here. So we immediately tell them to go straight to the locker room because I'm like, they're going to get shell shot. I was like, I don't want them to be like, get these premeditated thoughts. But go ahead, Drew. So I just wanted to paint that picture.
Nah, it was definitely flooded in that gym. Every game we played in that gym was flooded. But the first game, you could tell like from the other team mannerism that like they felt like they was gonna beat us. But it was a different story when it was a different story when the ball tipped. I don't know. It was just something different. I don't know. I hit how many threes I had that game?
You started off.
It was just
you hit 4.
I was just in
you hit 4, but so
to
paint because they come out, they warm up. So Northampton County was the whole school. So there is their Christmas. So we're the last game.
Facts.
Last game on the first night. So it's 3 games have already been played. Everybody's at our game. It's like 9:00. It's late. We done traveled there, and none of these teams were in our conference. So we're the outside school. So like I said, ball tip, and we got off to a hell of a start. I think this is our first game, Drew, in which we played man-to-man damn near the whole game. We played a pack line man-to-man defense. Traditionally, we were running our 1-3-1, but we switched it up, going 1-6. And then, man, I swear we just came out to a hot start. You came out hot. Our defense was intact. I think Pootie had a great game defensively that game. It was just amazing. Like one of the fans in Northampton County, I will never forget this. He was like, "How in the hell are we losing to Warren fucking County?" Like out loud, man. And
Facts.
hearing that, I'm like, "Oh yeah, like we're doing something. Like this is a big deal because
Yeah.
for him to feel that way, like we shouldn't be in this situation." And this was a Christmas tournament that was, win or go, like you win, you advance, and then if you lose, you in the consolation or whatever. So like we just sent the whole school home, and everybody just seen this. Everybody just seen us send this school home. We coming off a 1-6 start again, and our margin of defeat was huge. Like we weren't losing by a little bit; we was losing by a lot at the time. So me as a coach, seeing those guys make that adjustment from man to man, locking in, it just painted a picture for me. But I think, and Drew can attest to this, I think it gave them a little bit of hope. Like, hey, yo, we can be something. We just came out here and we took over their trap for real.
Nah, for sure. It definitely fueled us a little bit for the rest of the season.
And then, coach,
All right, so let's get into that second game. All right.
Yeah.
I was about to say, let's get into the second game. Y'all sent the whole school home. Huge deal. All right, let's get into the next game.
All right, so the second game was with Kip, and like I said, they were saying the first game was a fluke. So just seeing that and knowing how close the team was, we weren't gonna let that be the truth. You know what I'm saying? We weren't gonna let that be facts. So we knew we had to come out and handle business. It's as simple as that. We was just more of a dog that game.
Message in the locker room was simply that. Like they think it's a fluke, y'all. And Kip is literally 5 minutes from Northampton County. So they had a big fan base there because, we beat them at our house. So, again, they thinking it's a fluke. They thinking they're going to come out here and beat us, thinking that we cheated. We ultimately end up winning that game 76-70, I believe. It was back and forth, but we was able to pull away in the fourth, hit some big free throws down the stretch. And once again, man, played man-to-man defense, which I think threw them off because in our first game we played a lot of zone against them. So it ended up working out in our favor.
And then last game, championship game,
Third.
Third. Let's get into the championship game.
I ain't gonna lie, the championship game had a lot of hype behind it too. Like that game was really standing room only. I ain't gonna lie, the gym was flooded, OD, and I don't know. I felt like we was unexpected from the speed of Weldon that year, but we
speed, physicality. Because that was for those that didn't know, Weldon has me even still to this day a brand of basketball that's just gritty. We gonna bully you.
Yeah.
We ain't shooting up a lot of threes. We getting up to the rim. We pushing the break, and we getting shots at the rim. We crashing the glass. When I tell y'all, because the game started off bad. Like going into the half, I think we were down like 15-16, and our man-to-man wasn't working because we were struggling boxing out. Because like I said, this was a good offensive rebounding team. We came out in the third quarter, played 1-3-1. We actually got their lead down to about like 6 or 8, but it was ultimately too little. But that 1-3-1 was giving them some trouble. But again, that Weldon team, man, was just like a team. I would say a team we hadn't faced yet, like just from a physicality standpoint. You would think so too, Drew?
Yeah, they didn't play like any other team had played that year. That was the first time us seeing the team play like that year.
And I think we learned from that. Again, we ultimately ended up losing. And I remember we took a picture. I'll try to edit that in, but we took a picture with the trophy, and no one in the picture is smiling. Like we all like pissed. But I think I always say to this day, and anyone I can attest to it, that tournament changed our season around for the better. I think we just had a vision of what we could have been. And then getting close to a championship and not getting it, that created a sense of motivation for myself, and I seen it for the guys. But going into the tournament 1-6, coming out 3-6, and then like I said, ultimately changing the trajectory of our season. So it was nonetheless it was a good tournament to be a part of, but disappointing to not come out with the championship.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do this. Let's talk about coming out of that Christmas tournament, coming in second, spark plug. Let's get into what all happened after that, and all the good that started happening after that tournament.
You can go ahead, Coach.
Shit, man, really just in layman's terms, a lot more winning. So like I said, at that time we're 3-6. We finished the season 11-14. And we finished the season 11-14. So we won more than we lost in the second half of the season. And those two of those losses came in postseason, one in the conference tournament, one in the state playoffs. So really, we were 11-12 before going into postseason play. So we only lost 6 games. Only lost 6 games in the second half of the season compared to winning 8. And most of those games being on the road. I vividly remember we had a tough 4-game road stretch. And I was expressing to the guys we got to be road warriors. These are big wins because we're pretty much talking about conference play at this point. We have a tough win. We beat Roanoke Rapids. We have a tough win in Webb, which we stretched away in the fourth quarter. We lose to Granville Central on the road, and then we beat Lewisburg. So going 3-4 in that stretch was huge for us in the second half of the season. And something. Oh, our practices. Our practices picked up a lot too, man. I'll say it got a lot more intense. We spent a lot of our time in that practice, if I'm being transparent, just like because we had our defense, our bread and butter was our defense, and that was pretty much set in stone. But like our practices were very intense. Like the coaches always played the players. In that season, I think that they might have beat us. I said the seniors, all the guys. The guys might have only beat the coaches maybe twice that entire season. But every game was competitive. I'm playing every day. Coach Fuller's playing, and we just grinding, beating each other up in practice, boring, no foul calls, because we felt like that had to be our identity. What you think, Drew?
Yeah, I feel like you compete a little harder and like work a little harder when you working for somebody you love, or like when you what's the word? When you actually like love the people you're doing stuff with or doing it for, you compete and work that much harder at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I feel like that group was real close.
Mm.
And that helped us a lot. Yeah.
Very tight knit group.
It's like I feel like, to your point, Drew, like and basketball it paints the picture for it. Like, you got a heightened level of responsibility knowing that the next guy is giving it his all. And it's not just basketball, it's any team sport. When I was in high school, college, rec league, at the end of the day, the guy next to me going his hardest, so why am I not going my hardest? When I'm playing rec ball with TJ going his hardest, so why would I not be going my hardest? He competing at a high level. He want this shit, so why would I not want this shit? It's just, to your point, like just having that love and just having that brotherhood, it just makes you compete that much harder.
Brotherhood. That's the word I was looking for. Brotherhood.
Yeah. And energy is contagious. Energy is contagious, man. And like, of course, like we alluded to in earlier episodes, Miles going against Coach Rick and Larry, like, we wanted to beat them so bad. And that was just like the same moment with the team. Like, again, I think it brought them closer, them doing everything in their power to try to beat their coaches in practice, getting close and understanding that, like, you can be doing everything the right way, but something can go wrong and, you lose. So I think they just kept that motivation. Again, that's just how it worked out. But that group is just so close, man. Just so tight knit, could hold each other accountable. No sensitivity. Like it was just a beautiful thing to where, like, I enjoyed the practices more than the games. Like those practices, and Coach Fuller always says that too. Like across all the teams I've coached, those practices were by far my favorite practices for that reason, because it was just a lot of basketball being played, and just competing. Competition makes practice better, in my opinion. The more competitive the practice is, the better there are, and the better off you're going to be that season. And that was another thing too, Drew, and you can attest to it. Y'all ran a lot that year. I don't know what I was on, but we did a lot of running in practices, bro. A lot of running, and y'all was a well-conditioned team.
Yeah, we definitely did run a lot. We needed it though. We needed it. It made it up. Huh?
You remember going back, you remember when I made y'all run the 400 one lap as fast as you could? How you felt when
bro. I almost passed out, bro. I was seeing stars. For real. For real, bro.
You said I ain't never did nothing that hard before in my life.
No, bro. And we had to make it. Y'all put a time limit on it, didn't it? We had to make
I
it
don't
under a certain time.
I don't
I
remember.
think
I
so,
think I said
bro.
I think I said the goal was like a minute, but the fact that
Yeah.
you did a full out sprint, I can't imagine doing a full out sprint on the track, bro. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, you was like, bro, I was seeing stars. You said you closed your eyes on the last leg; it was just running.
Yeah. I was just
But
trying
yeah,
to hit the
man.
goal, bro. I don't know.
But nah, bro, that's amazing, man. But yeah, bro, like I said, the practices of that group, and then Drew actually, like I said, he accounted for, I would say 50% of the offense. There were a lot of games that were low scoring in which he would have over half of our points. But Drew, you faced a lot of good competition that year. You actually faced 3D1 guys, three eventual 3D1 guys that you're going up against. They were juniors, you were seniors, but Bobby Pettiford, Elijah Jameson, and Terrence Harcum. Talk to the folks a little bit about being in a conference of that magnitude. The year previous, y'all finished in last to eventually finishing third. But talk about some of those matchups against those guys.
I would say just us finishing third in that conference is big time because those guys are definitely elite, like for sure, elite basketball players. Shoot, it was it was always a battle. I don't know. I don't feel like none of those three guys got like could say they dominated Warren County or could say I don't know. I feel like we always fought. We never laid down against those guys. We swept Lewisburg our senior year. It was always good games between us. I feel like we never laid down.
Mm-hmm. Had your career high against
What
your
made
high
them
school
guys
career high
special?
against Grambling Central. You can go ahead.
What made them guys special?
I would say it would be their like athletic abilities, which mean like made them special like talent wise, like being D1 talent or being like
Yeah.
Basically, I would say their athletic abilities could jump higher, move a little quicker. Elijah Jameson was always built like a grown man since a freshman. You feel me?
Yeah.
Terrence always had the maturity in his game of like a college player. Bobby always quick, could pass the ball, great IQ. That's what made them D1 players.
Not lying.
Let me ask this. I want to ask one thing, and then TJ, I'm gonna let you get in it. But TJ, your senior or Drew's senior year, you won Coach of the Year in the league. So, TJ, Drew, they both humble viewers. So, they're not gonna speak too much about it. But I'm gonna go ahead, toot their horn. TJ won Coach of the Year that year. Drew made first team all conference. I do want to ask you, Drew, and I want you to, I know you're a humble dude, but I want you to like really I want to really give the viewers a perspective. Do you feel like you should have been in that conversation for Player of the Year, considering the fact Coach TJ won Coach of the Year?
I should have been in that talk. Yeah, I feel like I should have been in that talk, but
It's
it's just the fact that I don't know. It's because we finished third. I feel like if we finished like if we would have finished in at least the second spot, I could have got it, But
right.
they had first and second lock. I feel like
I argued that though, because how it worked, everybody got to advocate, for somebody if they chose to. So I was the only coach out of side because in the conference's eyes, the big three were the three that were formerly mentioned. But I spoke up for Drew. I was like, in every game, y'all know offensively what was going on, and he still couldn't be stopped. Had a career high 30 against Grambling Central. Like you said, every time we played South Granville, it was a battle. And like you said, we swept Lewisburg once at their place, and of course beating them on senior night at the crib. But to average 18 points, to shoot 50% from the field, 50% from the three, 80% from the free throw line. And like I said, you're accounting for 50% of your team's offense, and the game, everyone knows where the ball is going. Had multiple game winners that season, like clutch approved. Like I felt like he at least needs to be considered. Like whether he wins tonight, that's on y'all. But he's definitely in the same conversation with these three right here. That's exactly how I felt. And one person that kind of co-signed me was Coach Mike McDaniel, who was the coach at Granville Central at the time, who coached Terrence Harkham. He was probably, outside of myself, I know he was probably Drew's biggest fan and always showed love to Drew. He's actually the one that got me maybe a member of the Coaches Association, in which that's how we voted for the all district teams. And Drew, he advocated for Drew because he was like, you need to get in this, coach, because Drew needs to be all district. And Drew ultimately got enough votes to make third team all district on top of being first team all conference. So hell yeah, he deserved to be mentioned with that group. And I feel like they would feel the exact same way. The respect was felt amongst the entire conference.
That's big. That's big time. And I think it kind of to go back to the debate that we was having, I think it might have been the last pod of MVP, most valuable player versus the best player on the best team. So, that's just obviously we spoke about that last pod, but that's always going to be the debate, the best player on the best team versus the most valuable player. Take Andrew Smith off that Warren County team. All right, where are we at? Versus take, whoever won, take them off that team, where that team be at, So, it's a debate. It's an ongoing debate. Every time somebody bring up player of the year, that's always going to be the conversation.
Yeah, it was tough that year, though, man. Like, that South Granville team, they went undefeated. And Bobby was coming off a conference player of the year previously. Like you said, man, I think if we could have split with Granville Central or split with South Granville, then, I think they would have factored into it. But yeah, man, definitely the respect was definitely there, though. And then one thing I did love about that group, too, like I said, everyone knew that, Drew was the guy. They never shied away from it. There was no hate, no green eyes. It was always love. And if anything, the team wanted Drew to shoot more. Like, with them numbers, and you averaging 18, you're efficient as shit. I think everybody just wanted Drew to shoot more. But, again, he always made the right basketball play. He always was about, making his guys better. And then ultimately, I felt like Drew challenged himself the most of being a better defender that year, which he was.
And I appreciate them boys and love them boys because they did always tell me to shoot more. But, like, I always want everybody to get their shine because I knew I could still get my buckets in some way, some fashion. I knew I could get a rebound, go back up with it, or, like, get a steal on defense and make a play. Like, I was never, like, the ball hog type. I always wanted to see everybody shine,
Facts. Let's get into your recruitment, man. Talk to me about your recruitment. Talk to the viewers about your recruitment, how that whole recruiting process went.
All right, so coming out of my senior year, I'm sending film to everybody, D2s, D3s, D1s. I really ain't care. I was just sending emails. I typed up a template email and basically just changed like a few things in every email and sent the film. I didn't get anything back from D1s or D2s. Brevard might have been the only D3. Coach Miles had offered me a spot at Brevard. But I had got like 3 Jucos. One was Lewisburg, Guilford Tech, and it was one more. It might have been like Blue Light or something. It was a small Juco. But Guilford Tech was saying that I could go to class for free. So at the time, Guilford Tech was it was pretty good. And the year before I had went, they was pretty good. They was winning. Not to say we weren't winning, but they was pretty good. So the money wasn't enticing in a way. I knew the conference was good. I knew I was going to be able to get exposure from the conference that was in. It wasn't a bad conference. So I don't know. I just went with the money. But looking back on it, I definitely would have went D3. I definitely would have went D3, or maybe pick Lewisburg, because Lewisburg is a better school uh, athletically than Guilford Tech. But the fact that Guilford Tech, I'm young, was throwing money, free classes, basically a scholarship. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take the scholarship. But that's being young minded, not think about all the options, all the, you know what I'm saying. But it wasn't a bad decision. It wasn't a bad decision, but looking back on it, I would have made a different one.
Hindsight is always 2020, man.
Yeah.
I mean, just kind of elaborate on
I
your
s-
experience at Guilford Tech. Like,
Yeah, I
you know,
was
how
about to
was
say, so let's
feel,
talk us about
yeah.
your
I feel like I developed, but my development would have been more rapid if I would have went to a better organization or a better athletic school. Because the school's gym was in a YMCA, so you got YMCA hours you got to work around, and also the school is in Greensboro, North Carolina, which is one of the biggest college cities in United States. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
at nighttime, I'm out with the guys, or it's more stuff to do than basketball in Greensboro, North Carolina. So it could be challenging. You could be knocked off your grind for sure. It could be hard to focus sometimes.
I couldn't imagine my school not having like a gym as a basketball player that I can go into all the time. Like, of course, I graduated from UNCG, but most schools got a facility in which if their athletes can go in and get shots up, shoot on the gun. So I can only
Yeah,
imagine how that hindered not only you, but just the entire program. You
yeah,
know, like you got guys who may want to get in the gym, but they can't just because the gym is a YMCA.
yeah. They definitely need to get their own facility. They got the money for it, but it's just not that type of school. It's a more of a technical school.
And like Miles alluded to earlier, Drew was very humble. He actually had a good freshman year, was honorable mention for his region that year. And then ultimately, that was your 2020 2021 was your freshman year, and that was the COVID season as well. So overcoming all those COVID hurdles, and then getting that accolade is a big deal, man. And I know I definitely enjoy watching come to those games and watch you. So yeah, you have 2 good years at Guilford before getting the opportunity to transfer out, because for JUCO you get 2 years, then you got to find your next opportunity. So, and here comes another opportunity to be coached by because we had the opportunity high school. Miles leads for Brevard, but now you got the opportunity to reunite with Coach Miles. So Coach, walk us through that process of why Drew Smith at this time? Why 2 years in college? Some of you from the like why Drew Smith?
man, I wanted Drew out of high school. You already know. Like, nah. All jokes aside, I mean, just having the opportunity to coach him in AAU, having the opportunity to coach him for a little bit in high school. You know, had a crazy senior year. I was like, man, he got to come to Brevard, man. If he come to Brevard, we're gonna get this thing. We're gonna get this thing really going. He can be a killer over here. But ultimately, he made the choice that was best for him. Um, no ill will, no animosity. At the end of the day, I think he made a good decision for himself, and just having the opportunity to be able to re-recruit him, to be able to come to Brevard again, basically getting a second chance. Um, I mean, that was huge. Like it was a done deal. Like he had a spot. All he had to do was take it. Really, if he wanted to do 1 year at JUCO, he could have came to Brevard. If he wanted to do 2 years at JUCO, he had the opportunity to come to Brevard. Like we was going to want him regardless. So um, him spinning the block, coming to Brevard and playing with the squad, man. I think it was great, man. It was great. Recruitment was smooth. Got him on campus. I felt like he had a pretty good vibe on campus. He had a good understanding of already had a good understanding of myself. I definitely want him to meet Coach Burgess, our head coach, and meet some of the guys. I think on your visit, I think you met LB.
Yeah.
So shout out
Shout
LB.
out LB, man.
Yeah, man, it was cool, man. It was cool. I was super happy to have him join the squad and try to get things going at Brevard. That was a big deal.
So Drew, walk us through. Obviously, like we said, you ended up deciding to go there for your to continue your basketball career. So walk us through, like, tell us about Brevard, man. Like you on campus. Like, what's some of the things that are going through your head? I heard Brevard got them white squirrels out there.
Yeah, man. So it was definitely something different. When you're driving from Eastern North Carolina to Western North Carolina, and you start to see the mountains and stuff, it's like you in a whole different place. I don't know how to explain it. It's a little weird, but when I first got here, it was cool. I felt like everybody welcomed me. Yeah, I felt like I fit right in with everybody. I could tell that this type of school is the type of school where you find a real brotherhood with your teammates, because there's really nothing else to do but basketball, or work for your sport. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah,
how did it feel
I
having
felt
a
like
go ahead, Coach?
I was about to say, I felt like that was going to be a seamless transition for you. You're not the type to need a whole bunch of like distractions, or
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you can thrive in any environment just from your background and where you come from. I feel like you wasn't gonna have any issues, but I mean, some people do. Some people have that issue of transitioning from their hometown to Brevard. Brevard is a different place. It's not what people are typically accustomed to. So, I never had any doubts in my head that it was going to be a tough transition. I think it ended up being a seamless transition.
Nah, for sure.
Cool. Coach, do you remember how that season went, Juice? Like, as a team for the Tornadoes that year? Not freshman year, but his first year at Brevard.
I think that was year 4. That must have been my 4th year. I think it was
Yeah.
It was either my 3rd year. No,
It was 4
out of
because
COVID.
your first year at Brevard was obviously my first year in high school. He
then
had 2 years at
COVID.
Guilford Tech.
So it was my 3rd. No, it was my 4th year. It was my 4th year. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was my 4th year. Right. So 4th year. Oh yeah. So we ended up making a conference tournament. That was our second time. The year prior to that was the first time we made the conference tournament. So this is the second year that we made the conference tournament. We had a good season, or we were improving. We were getting better. We made the conference tournament. We played Pfeiffer in the first round, and we ended up pulling that game out. We ended up winning that game, and that was our first conference win in the USA South in program history. So that was a big deal for us. We went down to Pfeiffer, played them in a hostile environment. We ended up beating those guys on the road. Hell of a game. I still remember KK made some really big plays in that game. Quincy Carter made up some really big plays. Jaden made some big plays on a bummed ankle. So I was really proud of the guys, and I remember that locker room. We just went crazy in the locker room. So that was super cool. And then we ended up playing a really good North Carolina Wesleyan team in the semifinals, and they ended up beating us, and they ended up ultimately winning the league. But we put up a fight against those guys, and we just came up short. And like I said, they ended up winning the league, and that was pretty much the conclusion of that 4th year. But yeah, year 4, it was a good year. We built, we got better, and we're trying to continue to improve on what we did.
Drew, in using your experience, what would you say to the viewers? Like, was the difference or something that stood out from Guilford Tech Junior College to Brevard D3 based on your experience?
Something that stood out.
Or a difference between the two?
Yeah, the biggest difference to me was like the way basketball was played. So in JUCO, a lot of them guys are like, or a lot of the teams just it's not like systematic. So like D3 basketball, I've noticed that like a lot of coaches have their own system, and like they kind of stick to it, just like switch something up every year, or like switch little things up in their system every year. JUCO basketball is not. They don't really have systems. It's like just go out there and you get your reps, you get your film. You know what I'm saying? That's something different. Like so, like in systems, you gotta make more reads. Um, it's just a little higher IQ basketball. I guess you could say that. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's
Yeah,
it's,
I
it's
mean,
good. It's good basketball in JUCO, but you know what I'm saying. You don't got to make as many reads. They let you play freer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah. I think a lot of times too, especially when I was at Brevard, I would try to be as transparent as possible with our style of play.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even want it to be like any surprises. I didn't want it to catch anybody off guard. Like to Drew's point, we definitely ran a systematic scheme at Brevard. It involved a lot of backdoor actions, dribble handoffs. It was just offensively, it was just a different brand of basketball. But it taught me a lot, though. It taught me a lot when I played in it, and I'm sure it taught our players a lot, just in terms of reading the game, knowing when to do a certain action within the system of of our offense. So yeah, it's different. It's different to Drew's point, and I mean, if you have that basketball IQ, it's something that you can easily adapt to. But I mean, for some guys, it's kind of challenging to adapt to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would say like Brevard wasn't the only team that had a system. Like I feel like all the teams in the USA South play systematic basketball. Like because we've been having the same scout like every year on each team. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, for real though.
Yeah. Type of ball.
It sounds like it become a matter of execution at that point. Like we know what the other team is going to do. Because I came to the Wesleyan game and like every time y'all call ear, Wesleyan be like ear. And like sometimes they stop it, sometimes they don't. But it's like they know exactly what's. And I mean, when Miles was there, they had ear. This is one of the signals I just remember from y'all. But it's like they know what's coming, but can you stop it? How well can we execute it? So I think that's one of the beautiful things about basketball as well. Like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like you said, sometimes adjustments need to be made. But hey, so while in college, Drew, specifically at Brevard, any moments of adversity? Because again, something I alluded to earlier is just like from a mentality standpoint, you're in a realm of your own when it comes to that. Like, being able to stand 10 toes with standing, really being accepting of a challenge and not conforming or quitting. So any moments of adversity that you could share with like a young Hooper out there and, how you overcame that moment of adversity as it relates to, it could be junior college, it could be D3, high school, any moment of adversity, but more so from college for those high school kids, because if you ask them these days, they want to play college basketball. They're thinking hey, I want to go D1, I want to go D2. So can you share that?
I would say like all levels of basketball are good. Don't think like D3, D2 is worse than D1. Like it's a lot of them guys that could play at D1 levels. You know what I'm saying? It's good basketball at each level. And also, like your coaches are they're doing their job. So like you can't get mad at your coach for making a decision that he feels like would better the team. You just gotta be patient and keep working. Like you gotta stay level headed. You can't get too low, can't get too high. Just take the criticism and keep working. It's really you gotta control the things you can control. Simple as that, really.
That's
Simple
life.
as that. Yeah.
That's life, man.
And the thing you can The thing you can control is how much you in the gym, how much you're working. That's what you can control. So get in the gym, work. The work gonna show off. Work gonna show.
That's one of your quotes, Miles. That work gonna show.
Facts.
Shout out my dog Jay Blake, man. The work gonna show, man.
Facts. That's 100% true.
So yeah, man. From the outside looking in, man, seeing your growth, seeing y'all together, man, like coming into the games and seeing Miles coach, seeing Drew play, especially before Miles just wrapped up his first year at Wingate, going into the games last year, seeing Drew check in, seeing Miles coach him, it was just. It warmed my heart to see that, man, to see the success that y'all had, just because I feel like a lot of the games I came to, y'all were winning. It wasn't too many, but it was a lot of road games. So seeing that was just like a full circle moment for me, man. So yeah, man, shout out to Brevard for giving y'all both the platform to play and coach and extend y'all's respective careers for sure. And Drew just
I want to ask one more thing, right? So this past year, obviously I was at Wingate, but I still kept up with the program heavily. I used to watch every game, and at one point in time, I mean, Brevard had, I think it was top 5 in the country from an offensive efficiency standpoint. Just kind of talk to us or talk to the viewers about what was clicking, just from a offensive standpoint, just putting up the numbers that y'all was putting up. I remember y'all scored 100, 105, 110. Like, I think y'all led the nation in field goal percentage. Just kind of talk to us just about how good the offense was and what made it click like that.
I would say the leadership. So like, what we got? We got Jaden, KK, Charles, me. I don't want to miss nobody, but that's a good 4, I guess you could say. So like these are we all 4 guys that's coming back from teams that all made the conference playoffs. Each year we've been here, I guess you could say. Well, I guess Charles missed it 1 year, but we're all conference playoffs players, I guess you could say. So like the work we're putting in, like we're working hard in practice. So like they're feeding off us. Oh, can you say the question again?
Yeah, I was just, like I said, like watching y'all games and just watching just how efficient the offense was. I'm really just specifying the offense because I remember it was one point in time, I think y'all were like second in the country in offensive efficiency, offensive adjusted efficiency. For the viewers, that basically means they scoring a lot of points and it's very efficient, not missing a lot of shots, not having a lot of wasted possessions. Just kind of talk to the viewers about what made the offense just so prolific this year.
Yeah, and shout out my boy Chuck. I forgot Chuck too. But we just all bought in. We all bought into the system. Really, that's what I was getting at. We worked hard, and we worked hard at making the system good because we knew like it's no changing this. This is what Coach Burgess is going to run. This is what we're going to run. So if we want to win, we're going to have to perfect the system and know every read, know what makes the system good. You know what I'm saying? We all bought into it.
Facts. Like I said, like some of the games that I watched this year, I mean, the numbers y'all was putting up was crazy. I mean, it was just a beautiful brand. It was a beautiful brand of basketball. Shot a lot of open threes. Got a lot of easy backdoor layups. Just real easy. Like y'all was beating teams. And don't get me wrong. It's not like you guys went undefeated, but it was some games where y'all played extremely, extremely, extremely well. And I just wanted to shout out you. I wanted to shout out Coach Burgess. Shout out all the guys. You guys had a exciting brand of basketball this year, especially on the offensive end.
Thanks. And when you got like the vets on the team buying into the system, it's easy for the newcomers to buy in, because they see you doing it. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
we had great freshman talent come in. Shout out to the freshmen, bro. They helped a lot. So it was easy.
Facts.
Man, that's what's up, man. And wanted to take a moment to give you some more flowers, man. So shout out to you. For those that don't know, man, Drew is going to be graduating this upcoming May. So a little less than a month with his degree from Brevard College. So, I mean, that's just no easy. Like I said, college is some of the hardest 4 years of my life. So I don't take that shit lightly at all, man. So shout out to you, man, on being a student athlete, finishing the course, getting the job done. Being able to manage your time, I know college helped you grow, not only as a basketball player, but as a man. But shout out to you, again, a black man, getting that degree, man. And I just want to, shout out to you for getting that done, man. Because I just know this shit ain't easy, bro. It was hard. And I was just a regular student. You were a student athlete, you and Miles both. So, of course, shout out to both of y'all, but shout out to you, man, because that's no easy feat whatsoever, man.
Appreciate it. And I gotta say shout out to my family, because that was like my biggest backbone in the whole process or whole college experience. Like they the ones that helped me stick with it. Like they always told me, like, you need to stay in school, you need to finish this, because this will help you in the future. I'm just trusting these the people I love. These the great people in my life. So I'm just listening to them, respecting what they tell me. So, yeah, shout out to my family. For real.
Hey, I love your family, man.
That's love.
I love your family. Shout out to them for real. Especially your sister, man. That's
love,
my favorite.
man.
That's my favorite.
That's love, man. That's love. That was beautiful, man.
Coach, anything else you want to close out with Drew? I know I got a question.
Yeah, you go first with the question.
Hey, Drew.
Yo.
You and coach shooting around the perimeter, 5 spots. All right. 5 spots. Y'all get 10 shots. No, I ain't gonna say 10. Y'all get 7 shots a spot. How many spots you winning, and what are those spots? So you got the 2 wings, 2 elbows, top of the key.
Me and Coach Miles. All right,
Yeah.
so I think for a second. I ain't seen we ain't played in a long time, so I can't even remember like where he like to shoot from.
Nah, I need to know. It don't be
who
winning.
Because me personally, I'm gonna say every spot. I'm gonna say every spot, but I want to give him at least one spot where his hot spot at. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, all right,
I'm winning all the spots.
Okay.
I'm trying to give him a hot spot though.
I'm winning all the spots.
I don't know.
Every spot.
Maybe like the right wing. I don't really like the right wing like that. Maybe right.
I like all of them. I like all the spots. I'm good at all the spots.
All right.
Coach say 5 for 5. Coach say 5 for 5. Drew say 5 for 5. Let us know what y'all think. I don't know who gonna win, but I will say this: I don't think nobody beat my brother Booby Miles from the top of the key. He a different breed from the top of the key.
See, top of the key, hot spot.
He a different breed from the top of the key.
Top of the key. I give you the top of the key.
All the keys, all the wings, all the keys, all the corners, all of them.
Hey, Coach, legend has it during that Raptor season, you never lost the game at King of the Court.
Oh yeah. Yeah, never lost. What LeVar Ball say?
He never lost.
Never lost.
Nah, he was killing us that summer though.
Bro, used to piss me off, bro.
Quick spin in the post.
Every time.
Oh yeah.
Or jab you to sleep. Jab.
He was still kind of quick back then too, bro. So he was moving a little bit.
Y'all chill out, man. Man, shout out my dog Larry, quick spin, and shout out my dog Moose, quick spin in the post, man. That's a secret weapon.
Oh,
all jokes
in the
aside,
left to right cross.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, I
I
got a
know
little
your whole
arsenal, don't
arsenal for real. Yeah, I know your whole. No, I know your whole arsenal. That's what it is.
Nah, chill though, chill. But all jokes aside, though, man, we definitely appreciate you doing the pod. Appreciate you, or appreciate just having the opportunity to coach you. It's been a pleasure to see your growth on and off the court, and ultimately, man, I feel like you're just gonna have a really successful life after basketball. So, shout out to you. Definitely appreciate you doing the pod.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all too.
Yeah.
Love y'all. Okay.
Thank you too, man.
No
Thank you,
brainer.
like for real, man. Thank you for everything, bro. Thank you for your insight. Hopefully, you inspired, some kids in your hometown, some kids, anyone who's tuned into this. But pretty much hard work pays off. Something we didn't allude to, man. Like, you didn't really have any offers or anything going into your senior year to work hard your senior year, get an opportunity to play collegiate basketball for a full 5 years due to COVID as well, man. So, hey, man, you just walking testimony, bro, that, hard work pays off. So, again, shout out to you, bro. Like Miles said, it was an honor to coach you, honor to call you my brother, honor to share the gym with you. One thing that you always do that I don't take for granted is every summer you come home and you pour into the kids, whether it's helping me out with the camp, whether it's, playing one-on-one, getting in the gym with just the guys who were at the high school at the time, bro. Like, so that's just your way of giving back, man. I don't take that for granted because that ultimately helps me out. And just, you're just a voice in the county, and that these kids look up to, man. So you're a real one for sure, bro.
Sir, appreciate that. Anybody need one-on-one training this summer? I'm gonna be back home. Just let me know. In my phone, I got you. Okay.
Bingo. There it is. Tap in.
That's love.
Tap in.
All right, man. Well, that's going to conclude episode 7 of the No Pressure Podcast. Like, subscribe, and follow on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. And until next time, we'll holler at y'all.
All right.